Hello and welcome back to another video. So today I've decided to do a video on shiny object syndrome and essentially why it is the silent killer of momentum. Now I've done this as a PowerPoint because I think it'll be a lot easier to convey my ideas and give you the value in this way. So if it works, moving forward, this is how I'll be doing videos like this. So yeah, I'm going to jump straight into it. I won't waste any time. So what is shiny object syndrome? I'm actually going to just make myself smaller as well so you can focus on the slide. I'll put myself in the top right corner there. So what is shiny object syndrome? It's the #1 silent killer of potential. It's where you're easily distracted and lack focus and you simply just follow the latest trends. So regardless of your talent or how smart you may be, people will fail if they do not persist. Now, the reason why most people fail in the early stages of business or building a business is because you're constantly being bombarded with new ideas, trends and must-do tactics. So it's not actually about doing more, it's about doing less but on the right thing. So doing less but doing it better. Now, shiny object syndrome, as I said before, will kill your momentum. So I've written up here a little flow chart, which is the cycle of shiny object syndrome. Now, I'm personally more of a visual learner, so I think this is a lot more effective for someone like myself to learn, which is why I've done it. So essentially, at first, you have a new idea or opportunity, as you can see here. There's then two types of people. There's the person that pauses and evaluates, and then there's the person with shiny object syndrome. So the new idea or opportunity comes along. I'll put my glasses on here because I'm blind as a bat. Chase the shiny object is what the shiny object syndrome person will do. They'll then start the project. Now, they'll then do one of two things. The first thing is stay on the current path. Then momentum will build up over time, and then they'll see consistent results plus growth, which means they've pulled it back from having shiny object syndrome. However, this would have been the better route, which I'll go over in a sec. So they've actually pulled it back here, which is good. But the person that definitely has shiny object syndrome will essentially start project 1, see another idea, switch to project 2, repeat this loop endlessly, burn out and see no results, and go straight back to chasing the shiny object. And they just go round and round and round and round until eventually maybe they break the cycle at some point. But if we go back to the start, we've got the new idea or opportunity. So the person that doesn't have shiny object syndrome will pause and evaluate, and they'll ask themselves, does this align with my goals? If the answer is no, let it go, find something else. If the answer is yes, add it to your roadmap, break down your goals, put a timeline on how you're going to attack those goals, and start project number 1. Then they'll stay on the current path, momentum will compound over time, and they'll see consistent results plus growth. So, how it works. Starting anything is hard, as we all know. Your results aren't immediate, and every new idea will simply feel like a shortcut when someone puts it in front of you. It's essentially like having a carrot dangling in front of you to say you're a donkey. And you're not a donkey, so you don't want shiny object syndrome. But what people don't realise is every switch that you do sets you back to zero. So you're making progress here, and then boom, back to zero. So usually, something I've noticed is what you need to build on is usually right in front of you. So growth happens by repeating the reps. Now, if I can relate this to the gym, you don't grow by changing your workout every week. You grow by doing the same reps over and over and over. Now, myself personally, I've been following the same basic workout routine for over 6 months now. And despite it getting boring at times, I have seen results because I've just stuck to it. So why would you treat other areas of your life any different? So business is no different to the gym. In my opinion, the way you treat something like the gym is how you will behave in other areas of your life. So yeah, if you're not in the gym, get in the gym. How we get stuck in this loop of shiny object syndrome. So you make some progress in one industry, one area of your business. Then you look around or you scroll on social media and you see someone else making 100k a month. Now you'll get lured onto this new path, abandon the momentum you were just building up because you haven't seen immediate results, and you'll return straight back to square one. Another important note here, something which will help with this, is you need to be around people on the same path as you so you can stay focused on that path. Now, I've done a little diagram here. I'm sure some of you have seen this before. I've definitely seen it quite a few times surfacing the internet. The digging for diamonds analogy. So if you stay in one hole until you strike diamonds, that is the best thing to do. Otherwise, you'll end up with nothing. As you can see here, the reason for that, this man here was digging. He was one breakthrough away from finding all the diamonds. Now this guy here, he's going to carry on and find those diamonds. But you see, he's walking away and he didn't know that he was this close to success. So that just shows you need to stay on the path you are on and keep persisting, even if you don't see immediate results. Now, the lie we tell ourselves, the lie is, I am exploring my options. When the reality of the situation is, you're avoiding the boring work. So most people will quit when the honeymoon phase wears off on a new venture. So that's when you've just started something and it's all new, it's exciting, oh, it's all great, and then suddenly it gets boring. And that is when most people quit. But that is when you need to carry on going. Because if most people quit during that point, that is why most people aren't at the goals. It's as simple as that, really. Now, early warning signs of shiny object syndrome. So you start a new course, strategy, or tool every few weeks. You feel panic when you see someone succeeding with a different method, whether that's a completely different business or a niche or a method within your current business. You constantly rebrand, relaunch, or pivot. Now, not strategically, but you do this purely based on emotion. And you're always thinking to yourself, maybe this is the thing, maybe this is the next thing. When, as I said before, the reality of it is what you need to succeed is usually right in front of you. Now, OF creators are especially vulnerable to this. Why is that? They see constant overnight success stories from other agencies and other OF creators. It leaves them feeling behind. Now, they then believe they've chose the wrong strategy. So they try to be everywhere, doing everything at once, and they don't stick something out, which means they don't get to see if that strategy will prevail as it should do, because you're constantly jumping from one thing to another and end up in an endless cycle of burnout. Now, myself personally, I've actually jumped around a lot of businesses in the past, but there is a flip side to be aware of here, which is very important. So the reversal perspective, persistence without leverage is just slow motion failure. Now, what do I mean by that? Here you go. So you've got two people here. Person number one, which used to be me. They're in a low leverage vehicle, the 9-to-5 grind. And then you've got the high leverage vehicle, so the OFM or the online business. Now, the effort that's involved here, for a 9-to-5 grind, it's high and you have to do hard work daily. Your control is pretty low. Your boss decides your growth. Your income cap is a fixed salary and your raises are slow. Skills, narrow, specialised and non-transferable. Ownership, none. Your company owns your output. All your output, your company owns. They can get rid of you tomorrow. Your freedom's low. You have to ask for time off. Your hours are fixed. Your location's fixed. So immediately, your time and location freedom is basically nil. And the risk, it is safe. Yes, the job I used to have was safe, but over decades, it gets riskier and riskier. Now, growth, it's linear. It's just years for small jumps, and it's pretty set out. Now, when it comes to high leverage activities, if you were to put that same effort into a business such as OFM, you have something then called front-loaded work, which means you have compounding returns. Essentially, you have exponential growth. So this is your 9-to-5, and this there, that is your OFM business or another online business. You have high control. You have your brand, which will stay with you forever. You have your own offers, and you have your own strategies. The income cap, as we all know, it's unlimited, and it's based on your performance, so you're in control. The skills are broad, scalable, and you learn a range of entrepreneurial skills, especially with OFM. The main thing for me is you have full ownership. You build the assets. It's completely yours. No one can take it from you as long as you look after it. Now, your freedom is high. Your time's flexible and remote possibilities. I'm out here in Thailand right now. I'm going to Dubai in a few days and don't know where I'll go after that. But yeah, time, freedom, and remote possibilities, that is a reality. Now, risk. It's higher in the short term, but in the long term, you will see massive payoffs, especially compared to a 9-to-5. Now, as I just mentioned then, the growth is exponential, and your brand and the equity you have in your business will just compound massively over time. So, the vehicle matters that you choose, vehicle being a business, more than speed. So I'd compare this to running on a treadmill. In a low leverage vehicle, such as a 9-to-5, you're running full speed on a treadmill and you are getting nowhere in terms of distance. And with a high leverage vehicle, you're essentially climbing a set of stairs that are actually going to lead you to somewhere. Now, my shift to OFM, I realized that I didn't need to start working harder. I just needed to switch to a higher leverage vehicle. And it's OFM that gave me that control, that ownership, and that exponential growth within my life and business. So, a final message, persistence matters, but persistence in the wrong thing leads nowhere. So, mastery equals the right vehicle plus deep focus plus consistency. Remember, shiny object syndrome does kill dreams. So, if you beat it, your life changes. And that is all from me today. I hope you took some value from this. If you did, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and drop a comment. I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.